walia kwa maji, wengine walia chakula, wengine walia kulala, wengine walia kulala. Wasaidia, 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 wengine walia msaada, wengine walia kwa maji, wengine walia chakula, wengine walia kulala, wengine walia msaada. Wasaidia, wasaidia, wasaidia,
once again, ladies and gentlemen, France has inserted itself into the Ambazonian conflict. For years, the Cameroon government has peddled the grand national dialogue as its golden ticket to resolving the conflict in Ambazonia. It was advertised as the ultimate forum where grievances would be addressed, historical injustices corrected, and a genuine path to lasting peace carved out. But as the dust settles, as the years go by, as the so-called special status unravels into nothing more than a hollow charade, the truth now stands bare before the world. The GND Grand National Dialogue was never about justice, was never about resolution. It was all about pacification. It was a ruse to dupe the unsuspecting, to suppress the revolution, and to give the false impression of no mercy, while tightening the chains of colonial subjugation. Cameroon's Prime Minister Joseph Dion Ngute has now inadvertently confirmed what Ambazonians knew all along. Speaking in Yaoundé yesterday, March 18, in a meeting with his hand-picked so-called stakeholders, Ngute did not even attempt to pretend that the Grand National Dialogue had resolved the root causes of the conflict. He did not say that the Francophone teachers forced into Anglophone classrooms had been withdrawn. He did not say that Francophone administrators and judges and prosecutors and decree-appointed governors have been recalled. He did not claim that economic discrimination and systemic marginalization have been addressed. No, he could not say any of this because none of it has been done. Instead, his primary achievement, if any, was this: the government, he said, has cracked down on separatists in the diaspora and that no mercy has returned. Is that what the Grand National Dialogue was supposed to be about? Cracking down on the diaspora? Was that the solution Ambazonians were promised? Ngute boldly declared, and I quote, "One particularly rewarding action," he said, "of their diplomacy has been the engagement of partners in disrupting," listen to that, "in disrupting the activities of secessionist leaders residing abroad. This has amounted to judicial proceedings in the majority of countries hosting identified terrorist groups," end of quote. There you have it. The real purpose of the Grand National Dialogue was not dialogue. It was not to listen. It was not to address the grievances of Ambazonians. It was to target, hunt down, and silence those advocating for true freedom. It was a well-orchestrated maneuver to give Cameroon breathing space while waging a war of suppression at home and abroad. It was a tool, not of peacemaking, but of strategic warfare against the Ambazonian movement. And yet, Ngute went on to list yet another so-called achievement, and I quote, the restoration of normalcy. What normalcy? He pointed to cocoa production in the southwest, claiming that farmers have returned to their fields and are benefiting from higher prices. But we ask, how many villages remain burned to the ground? How many families have been displaced? How many innocent civilians continue to be tortured by the colonial police, army, and gendarme, maimed or slaughtered by the Cameroon's military? What about the countless Ambazonian leaders and activists languishing in prisons, held without trial, subjugated to inhumane treatment? I'm talking of men like Abdul Karim Ali. No mercy cannot be declared by a government that continues to rain bullets on people it claims to be its own citizens. No mercy is fake no mercy when you still hold thousands of people behind bars. Ngute also celebrated the so-called effective functioning of the special status and the Northwest and Southwest regional assemblies. But the question remains, in what way has this so-called special status improved the lives of Ambazonians? How has it erased the decades of marginalization? Where are the independent Anglophone institutions? Where is the autonomy? Where is the power to govern ourselves? It is all a lie, ladies and gentlemen. A special status dictated by Yaoundé is nothing more than an extension of colonial rule, a fraudulent attempt to deceive the world while maintaining absolute control over Ambazonia. To further insult the intelligence of Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians, Dion Ngute paraded the establishment of a higher teachers training college in Boya as another milestone of the Grand National Dialogue on Special Status. What does that have to do, ladies and gentlemen, with the fundamental issues of the conflict? Is that supposed to compensate for the thousands of teachers and students killed or displaced? Of course not. Is that supposed to make up for the systemic destruction of the Anglo-Saxon educational system? How does one training college under decades of deliberate neglect and subjugation help? The answer is simple. It does not. It just doesn't. Ngute then talked about development plans for the regions. Ambazonians have heard these empty promises before. For years, they have been promised deep sea ports, ring roads, and investments. And yet, what has happened? What has been delivered? Nothing but more bloodshed, more lies, and more manipulation. The people no longer have faith in a government that only knows how to make empty promises, never fulfilling them. Not in Ambazonia. The revelations from Dion Ngute's speech should serve as a warning to all Ambazonians. The Grand National Dialogue and the so-called special status were never about genuine dialogue. They were tactics of suppression. And this is why Ambazonians must be wary of the mushroom groups that keep emerging in the name of Ambazonia's freedom. These groups, yesterday, for example, we had the APJ. Today, it is the caucuses. They are nothing but distraction tools in the hands of La Republique. Who are these groups? Who formed them? What is their real agenda? These are the groups, ladies and gentlemen, Dion Ngute is referring to as partners they used to weaken and divide the struggle. Real Ambazonians independentists must know their true leaders. They must know who has been in the trenches, who has paid the price, who has stood firm despite the threats, the arrests, the court cases, and the betrayals. The enemy is desperate to infiltrate and destabilize the movement from within, and they have been doing so, as we hear from them. Ambazonians must not fall for these tricks, and let no one be deceived. No mercy has not returned. The war is not over, and the people have not surrendered. The fact that the Cameroon military still occupies Ambazonian land, the fact that people live in fear, the fact that extrajudicial killings continue, these all prove that there is no peace, no normalcy. True normalcy will only come when Ambazonians are in full control of their land, their institutions, and their destiny. Until then, the fight continues. The world must understand that Ambazonians will not be silenced. They will not be cowed. They will not be deceived by fake dialogues and empty promises. The struggle is slow, maybe slow, but it is not over. And every day, every moment, Ambazonians will continue to surprise the Cameroon army. Freedom is non-negotiable. Sovereignty is inevitable. Our march to independence remains unstoppable, though slow it may look. The Southern Cameroon's questions remains one of Africa's most compelling post-colonial conflicts, rooted in historical injustices, manipulation, and a betrayal of the principles of self-determination. The February 1961 plebiscite, often described as the genesis of Southern Cameroon's present predicament, was less an exercise of free will and more a calculated move by colonial powers and political actors who sought to erase the map and identity of a people. In this analysis, we will examine the circumstances leading to the plebiscite, the warnings of Dr. E.M.L. Ndele, the problematic nature of the voting options in the referendum, and the subsequent annexation of the Southern Cameroons by la République du Cameroon. I will further make a contrast of this situation with a legal framework that governed the unification of Tanganyika and Zanzibar to form the United Republic of Tanzania, to highlight the lack of any legal treaty binding La République du Cameroon and Southern Cameroons. And finally, I link these events to the modern-day resistance of Ambazonians, who categorically reject February 11 as a day of celebration. Dr. Ndele, one of the leading figures in the Southern Cameroon struggle, warned before the plebiscite that voting for a union with La République du Cameroon was tantamount to stepping into an unknown and a potentially dangerous future. He argued that while a union with Nigeria had its challenges, at least, he said, Southern Cameroonians knew what to expect, given their existing administrative and economic ties with Nigeria. In contrast, joining La République was akin to boarding a plane and landing in an unknown destination, he said. This was a warning that history has since vindicated. Ndele's argument was based on several crucial observations. Number one, the lack of cultural and political compatibility. The Southern Cameroons with British colonial background had developed institutions, laws, and political culture separate, distinct from La République du Cameroon's own, led by their French masters. Then the plebiscite itself was rigged. The process seems skewed in favor of union with La République du Cameroon. the most glaring manipulation was the exclusion of a third option, complete independence. The Southern Cameroons was already self-governing, with a functioning legislative assembly and an evolving democracy. Yet the people were forced to choose between two external powers rather than being allowed to continue their independent path. And number 3, the misinterpretation of the plebiscite vote. Many believe that the plebiscite was a direct decision to join either Nigeria or La République. That was not the case. In reality, it was supposed to be a mere sampling of public opinion, after which further negotiations would determine the final outcome. The fact that the United Kingdom and the UN failed to ensure proper decolonization left Southern Cameroons in a precarious position. Now, let's examine a similar union process that took place between Tanganyika and Zanzibar to form the United Republic of Tanzania. Let's see how it was handled. A legally binding treaty is a crucial component of any legitimate political unification. To illustrate what was missing in the Southern Cameroon's La République case, one can examine the Articles of Union between Tanganyika and Zanzibar, which established the United Republic of Tanzania in 1964. These are some of the key articles from that union between Tanganyika and Zanzibar. Article number 2, the preservation of autonomy. This article outlined that Zanzibar would retain its government with control over key domestic matters like education, health care, and internal security. In the contrary, the Southern Cameroons lost all autonomy when La République du Cameroon imposed a centralized system from Yaoundé. Article number 4, the recognition of two systems of government. Tanganyika and Zanzibar agreed that, although they were uniting, Zanzibar would maintain a semi-autonomous government, while Tanganyika would manage broader national affairs. No such agreement existed in the Southern Cameroon's case, where the so-called federation was merely a pretext for eventual assimilation. Article 6, the legal framework for the Union. That treaty explicitly outlined legal mechanisms to guide the unification process. It detailed how laws would be harmonized and how governance would function under the new structure. In the case of the Southern Cameroons, La République du Cameroon, no legal treaty exists between them and La République, meaning that their supposed union was never legally constituted. Article 8, international recognition of the union between Tanganyika and Zanzibar. The union treaty between the two was ratified and recognized by international bodies, including the United Nations. The Southern Cameroon's union with La République du Cameroon was never formally recognized through a signed treaty deposited at the United Nations, further proving that the Southern Cameroons was essentially captured or annexed by La République du Cameroon, and it was illegal. Despite the plebiscite's ambiguity, on October 1, 1961, the UK and the United Nations abandoned the Southern Cameroons, effectively delivering it into the hands of La République du Cameroon without any legal treaty. Unlike Tanganyika and Zanzibar, which had a structured and agreed upon unification process, the Southern Cameroons had no legal safeguards. Within days, La République du Cameroon moved in its military, the gendarmes and the administrators, the DOs, dismantling the democratic structures of the Southern Cameroons and imposing a centralized rule from Yaoundé. Over time, all institutions, the judiciary, education, economic frameworks, and governance were systematically dismantled or assimilated into La République du Cameroon system. As a result, this is what became the long-term impact of the annexation, what I call the bastardization of the Southern Cameroons. Number one, the suppression of political identity. The Southern Cameroon's distinct identity was gradually erased. The promised federation was revoked, and by 1972, Amadou Ahidjo unilaterally declared a unitary state. Economic marginalization. The once thriving economy of the Southern Cameroons was exploited to benefit La République. Key institutions such as the Marketing Board were dissolved, and revenue from the Southern Cameroon's resources was centralized in Yaoundé. How about cultural assimilation and oppression? The imposition of the French language and legal system alienated Anglophone Cameroonians, creating systemic discrimination that fueled resentment. These are some, ladies and gentlemen, of the reasons why February 11 is a day of mourning in the Southern Cameroons. Number one, the symbol of deception. The plebiscite is seen as a fraudulent exercise that paved the way for annexation rather than self-determination. Number two, February 11 marked the moment when Southern Cameroonians were forced into an unwanted union. And number three, the ongoing armed conflict, which escalated in 2017 following the brutal crackdown on peaceful protests, is rooted in these historical grievances. To emphasize their rejection of February 11, Ambazonian leaders and activists have enforced ghost towns. Total shutdown will start today and tomorrow. This is a form of civil disobedience, signaling to the La République du Cameroon and the international community that they do not recognize the legitimacy of Youth Day celebration, so-called. The slogan, "Never Again," encapsulates the refusal to accept another round of deception and oppression. The Southern Cameroon's struggle is a textbook case of post-colonial betrayal, forced assimilation, and the denial of self-determination. The February 11, 1961 plebiscite was a rigged exercise that ignored the true will of the people, leading to decades of systemic oppression under La République du Cameroon. By contrasting this situation with a legally binding treaty of union between Tanganyika and Zanzibar, it becomes clear that the Southern Cameroons was annexed, not united with La République du Cameroon. The continued resistance, including the rejection of 11 February, is proof of the enduring spirit of Ambazonians who seek to right a historical wrong. Without a legally binding document, no treaty, no union, the Southern Cameroons remains an occupied territory. And that is the reason we fight and fight. We must fight until justice is done.
I've got one response. I've got just one move. With my arms stretched wide, I will worship you. So I throw up my hands and praise you again and again. 'Cause all that I have is your hallelujah, hallelujah.
ladies and gentlemen, people from the Cameroons, both the Southern Cameroon and the French Cameroon, La République du Cameroon. Greetings all the way here from Mola Wunja, the truth teller, the open-minder, the undefeated lion. That is me. Ladies and gentlemen, I've come today to speak to the whole of the two nations. Let me speak the way that even the local people back home in the village, mama, papa, our grandparents, they will try to understand what I'm talking about. Okay, people them for Cameroon, may we broke small language, may all man understand. Like our ambassador, the broken for Equinox. My name na Mola Wunja from United Kingdom for London, as they call them. I want to come today for talks on certain things away at the same for Cameroon way, you know, fine. I played this music before this broadcast, so people get to give gratitude or say thank you for waiting other people they don't do them for them. I come today because I don't see and get some messages and they be too worried. One, when they released this with brother for Ediabatu by those Nigerian pirates, the duo Roland Ewane. I don't come today for clarify some certain things and we worry. That we brother, it be first of all, almost 9 months, that is a school academic year, we be captive. La République du Cameroon government no be fit negotiate, may they release it. They keep that boy for 9 months. They can't release it. When they begin make negotiation, Cameroon government don't talk say you know they negotiate with terrorists. The real terrorists now them that, but when I don't negotiate. I not talk why they release it. I be sorry for it. I be sorry to the family, to the wife, to the mom. We are all human. The mom talks say we don't even gather some money. Cameroon government no flop them. Cameroon government be one show say they're strong. That governor go come out, he run him out. He give them 24 hours, nothing happen. No army for Cameroon for go fight them, for take them back, for take him back. In a we brother when a assistant mayor for Ediabatu, they don't release the one way he be affiliated to government too tight. When Roland, we other brother is still there because in a people choose it, put it for day. If we not see the difference for this Cameroon government, if they be one make negotiation, they begin to make negotiation for them too because mayor no be government official. Ma tell una know today, government are people official. Now the community, they choose who go be mayor for any town. It no be government property. Now Cameroon, I don't see and say, now government, the overtake hand for mayor, the control mayor. For other country, mayor, now the people's community. As they don't catch it so, the way where government they operate, if a fit talk say, okay, more negotiate for them 2 or then 3 way they made they come out. But they negotiate for the one way they know say it be entitled under their command. And not talk say why they release it. They don't look na Roland because they know say the international community go look and say now government person that will not live and for the for mayor we don't even know his name. So that one he die. But if anything be happen for the Francophone zone, Cameroon government for Mwexeme all man come out. Take Amadou Ali woman, how Boko Haram be kidnapping. Cameroon government negotiate, pap, he come out. They don't ever show that woman for TV. But what can happen today? They carry Mr. Ewane, where don't be dehydrated. If you looky, na person where if you push he go fall, if he die safe. He water or no day, he never eat well, na very handsome guy, where if you na be see time where they kidnap him, where they hang him for that tree, he get bulky, he get skin. But for the 9 months, we don't know what I don't eat, wait till be the eat, or now wait till they be give it the eat, we don't know. They don't move it for take it go hospital, then the police officials, where they go make the negotiation, they go come out, they talk, say, okay, we don't make negotiation for this guy. For now, we no fit see because they for treatment, for hospital. But they carry the parade with him, the whole world. See, I'm saying, Cameroon government strong. They don't move it. They don't move it for power. They don't move it for kidnappers their hand. So they can do anything. Okay, if they kidnap another one again, una go do the same thing. Make the show and say the international community will say, oh, come on, government, too strong. They don't. If una be strong, why una no send una army? They make they go fight that boy. Them they take the deal. Una not strong. No be strong that. Una begin to send una own guys them. Make they go una army force. Make they go take them. Una take the work at the whole Southern Cameroon. May they say and say, oh, Cameroon government, Mr. Tanganji, na strong man, he don't go negotiate. Any man fi negotiate so far as the money day. So it's not you. It's not Paul Biya. Yeah? It's not Paul Biya who negotiates. It's not Paul Biya's money. You can't say I give credit to the head of state, thanks to the head of state. Really? Cameroon money don't turn Paul Biya money with Mr. Tanganji. I don't know this type of minister who say come out safe. You got to take man where don't come out for kidnapping hands for 9 months. The pirate with it for taking hospital, if he hide it, the time where he don't come normal, may press they go interview you. Now you the worker show off because of your political agenda for a campaign thing on do for election. What a bad government! What a bad and satanic people! I hope they made that boy survive. I hope. Because only the distance on a worker with see from Dian inside that forest, from Kenu to Ediabatu. Ediabatu again. I don't know why una not be take helicopter fly with this straight for Yaoundé. If una be big good people, una want make the Siam governor, unelected governor for Boya. He go be there too proud. Say they don't work hard. You be give 24 hours, wait to be happy. We can't turn 9 months. Una do it. Nothing. Mouth. Only mouth. The most rook government in the world. The most rook government. Criminals. Thieves. How una go be? Una the only think only about una self, about CPDM. That is all. Okay, that one don't pass. I hope say, Mr. Iwane, you go feel fine. And since they know for negotiate with terrorists and criminals, we hope say they can negotiate too with the terrorists, where they call the Southern Cameroonians. We hope so now to negotiate too with them. Because I don't think say the war go end, that war go end the way una think, eh? Yeah, because una need address the root cause. So wait till I cause am na problem. Because I see my brother, the Prime Minister, Djungute, he be very, very dishonest. Say everything they go back to normalcy. They achieve their goal for the grand national dialogue. Things that they work. They cooperate with their corporatists or whatsoever. There is nothing going to normalcy in Southern Cameroons. Nothing. Why you people fooling Mr. Paul Biya? Why you people playing game to him? Why you people playing game to the international community? Why you playing game to Cameroonians? Why? Mr. Jongute was studied in Warwick, behind my house here, Warwick University, one of the top universities you can think of in the world. You be very dishonest, all of you. All the Anglophones call themselves ministers. You are very, very dishonest. Why are you fighting for political agenda or career? You have already a big politician. You don't need to be lying. There's nothing working. People are still suffering. What people have been saying, just begin to talk about the dirtiness in Yaoundé, the road, the filthiness, the sickness, where there is no health facility, no water facility, no electricity. People cannot even connect, no good network in Cameroon. Those are things you have to create for your people to be happy. Don't begin to lie. Southern Cameroon is a non-go area. Nobody can go there carelessly. Every day you still kill people, your army kill people, kill the civilians, do terrible things, crimes. That's all you people are committing. Will you people come and just be dishonest all over the world? Why can you not say, no, the problem is still there, we have to address the root cause? There was nothing in the national dialogue. There was nothing. I was one of the first which was contacted. I knew nothing will come out. Those were just window dressing and camouflaging. You're just fooling the world. And it's our own people, our own Southern Cameroonians who are there in government. Not even the Francophone ministers. Not even the Francophone officials. It's the Anglophone officials bringing us down. What a shame to you people. I'm really ashamed. Nextly, I will go to some people who are really, really ungrateful. I saw what Mr. Bala wrote, that people were praying for him to die. People were praying for him to rot in jail, this and that. No. I like people who are saying thank you. When Mr. Bala was arrested, I was talking with Mr. Bala 24 hours. I'm not lying. Okay? When he went and make his negotiation with the government, he decided to look us like bad people, terrorists. But he forgot that we were the one who protest for him to come out in London. He has forgotten. He came to London here in Chatham House and he said that we, the Southern Cameroonians, are the one bringing problem to Cameroon because of the negotiation he has negotiated with the government. Don't come and write nonsense for people to look at you and think that you are so much intellectual than others. Why are you lying? We protested for you. I'm not lying. People are listening to me who knows me. Because of you, your name was written on a placard all over London. We were saying that they should release you. Okay? So, for you, Mr. Bala, to come and write such thing, we had a meeting on Southern Cameroonians only because of you. We were accused that they have given us money. Mosonge has given us money. If I'm lying, ask those who were there. Ask Mr. Barrister Lisinge in London. We tried to negotiate how we can see that we gather some funds and send to you. And we did it. We did it. There is a guy they call Barrister Lyonga. We send the money to him. I'm not lying. For you to find a way that you can, you will feel free that your brothers are behind you. When you came to London, did you talk to us? No. Did you say a message, send a message to us of thanks? No. Did you send a message to gratitude? No. So why are you writing that? Who is praying for you to die? When Seseko were arrested and the rest, did you organize for a protest? No. So why you say they were praying for you to die? Nobody were praying for you to die. It's just the way you handle things. It's just the way. You people don't talk like people are afraid of you. Nobody is more than anybody. We know ourselves. We know where we come from. So people should shut up sometimes. Okay? Don't take because you people have met yourself with the Cameroon government. You are doing all terrible things. You think that they will praise you. Oh, you are a top man. You are a big man. No, it doesn't work like that. Don't go up on the air and start writing things that people look us like we hate you. We wanted you. Nobody hates you or we hate nobody. We are fighting for the goodness of everyone in the Southern Cameroons. You people are very dishonest people. All of you back home there, most of you are very, very dishonest. Very few are there who are really fighting for the people. And what have you gained since you came out from what have you brought to the people? Since you came out from jail? Yes, the government released you on which ground? Yes, you were released because we were fighting for you. You were not released because you had an international connection. No, you were released because we were fighting for you to come out. Let me tell you today, because I've never addressed this. You have been writing things, people are behaving like they don't see. Nobody afraid for nobody in this world. We are all human. So come out and say the truth. God will bless you. Let this one pass and let it be the first and the last. You come and address those things that, oh, people were praying for you to die. Nobody were praying for you to die. My dear friend, brother, nobody. We were praying that you should be released so you can move on with your political career. I don't like people who come and be talking like we are not living. We are still living. We are all human. Okay? Thank you very much. My brothers and sisters, next topic which I want to go into it is the topic of the Cameroons. How can you people, the Southern Cameroon, the La Republic Cameroon, still appoint somebody who is 93 years old as a Senate president? Are you people okay? Is Cameroon okay? Are we human beings or are we in this planet? What is wrong with us? I cannot understand. How can you appoint somebody who is 93 years old, for God's sake, to still be the president of the Senate, as you are still planning to put Mr. Paul Biya, 94 years old, to be the president of Cameroon? What a shame to you people. What a shame. When are we going to change our own life? That's why you see the Southern Cameroon's people are fighting for their freedom. They have all right because there's nothing binding between we and you people. I'm really sorry for you, the La Republic citizens. I'm really sorry. Why are you people so weak? Why? That country needs a military takeover. A good one. Like what is happening in Burkina Faso. Oh, the president of Burkina Faso, please come and help people of La Republic. Come and help us. Because we are dying slowly. The country is vanishing in the world. The country is disappearing. Come and help us. A message. If anyone gets this message, pass it to the president of the Burkina Faso. Please send your army to help us. Because all our army are corrupted too. Like the same. We don't have anywhere to go. The citizens are suffering. If you can come and help us, how we can go out of these hands of these criminals, that will really help us. We are really suffering. The president of Burkina Faso, the president of Chad, can you people come and help us? We need something. Because our military, they behave like they don't see what is happening. They are the one also killing the civilians. We don't have anywhere to go. Civilians don't have gun. What can we do? Nothing. The people need help. Cameroonians need help. Big help. God bless you.
Thank you, Barrister. What is your take on that as we wrap up?
Why I agree with the barrister about those laws in Cameroon, as an old economics teacher, I would say ceteris paribus. I know the barrister knows what that means. Everything else being equal. Cameroon is a society of lawlessness, even though they have one of the finest penal code and what do they call that penal code again? Is it penal code?
Penal code.
Penal code? Yeah. They have one of the finest laws written, but those laws don't exist because everything l'état c'est le président. L'état c'est le président. The laws, the courts, the constitution, the finances, the treasury, the everything, legislation is in the wish of the president, one person. So I agree with Barrister. If you go read the laws of Cameroon, there are some laws there that the society should not be. But are they applicable? Every court is the president who decide whether people should be vacated from a trial or they should be taken to trial and all those stuff. So those laws don't even apply. And those who say they are doing magistracy or whatever, whether it's a military court or whatever lower court, they are just there as a symbol representing the wishes and the desires of one person. One thing that I would say, you mentioned Vekuma. The problem that we face when we come into this reawakening as Southern Cameroonians to try to reclaim our rights is that while we have a very clear case, we have tried to sanitize the image of our history and the agents, the actors of our past before we came into this situation. There is no need for us to lie about Southern Cameroons. There is no need for us to lie about Resolution 1608. It is very clear. There is no need for us to lie about the plebiscite of 11 February 1961. It is very clear. It was a bad deal for us, but those things existed in their own. And they are very clear. We don't need to lie about it. My issue is 1972. Forget about everything else. We had a contract. Whether it is written or it's not written, we have existed in a contract that says that our union, our togetherness was to be in a bicultural federation, and that was violated. That gives us every right to reclaim what we are trying to claim. We don't need to lie about, say, Southern Cameroon was the first democratic country in Africa and all that stuff. We had independence before 1961. That's not true. We don't need all of that. Our case is clear. So if we can come together like we did for the GCE board, like we did for the University of Boya, we did. We had forces against us. We did not have guns. They were even killing us, but we stood our ground and got what we wanted. Where is that spirit? That's what we must try to bring back. You talk about Vekuma. Of course, it was something that Ahidjo saw and the French saw when we came. They saw it as an opportunity to enter into it and take advantage of us. There is no way they would have defeated West Cameroon if things like Vekuma or some of those other distractions did not exist. And those are the gaps and the holes we have to fill in clear conscience and with honesty. We should not lie about ourselves. We already know now. Mola is there. We have the same. We are sitting now all this time. He's a nice man and all that. There's no time that we have sat down and called each other to say, hey, what do you think about this type of thing? That's how they form that synergy. Whether he's doing what? Before I was coming here, I was having an exchange with Ben Aki, Dr. Ben Aki, and he talked about us who are not on federalism as the idle pendatics. That's a very big insult. We cannot be doing that to ourselves and expect anything better. All these things that we do is giving room. Because if it's not Bia, even if it dies today, they will still take advantage of what we are giving them if we are not together. So I am saying this now to the federalists. You are not the enemy of those who are on the Ambazonian track. Because Bia does not want your type of federalism. I'm saying this now to those on the Ambazonian. Stop the fighting against your own brothers who are still on the federal. Let us try to convince each other. Let us talk. Because Bia sees all of us as the same people. La Republique sees all of us as the same people. So let us see avenues where we can agree instead of expanding more on the areas that we disagree.
Thank you, Seseko.
They one are the Unity Warriors. General Big Vulture Life. Colonel Big Shark. Colonel Lion. Captain Angel. Yes. Apa why this is a video show, man? Apa why this is a video show? Apa why this is a video? Yes, now them this. Now we don't show them paper. We don't show them paper. Yes, and then this for Francophone zone. And then this for Francophone zone. We don't show them. General Big Vulture Life. Colonel Big Shark Life. Colonel Big Shark Life. Colonel Lion Life. Yes. Live video for Francophone Zoom. Yes. Yes. Live video. Yes. Yes. General Big Vulture. General Onyo. Commander Fireman. Captain Angel. Colonel Big Shark. Colonel Lion. Yes, now we this for Francophone Zone. Aya boy. Aya. Yes. Yes. Now we this for Francophone Zone live. Yes. Now Unity Warriors. General Big Vulture Life on the squad. Colonel Lion. Colonel Big Shark. Commander Fire. Now one is so. I tell guys that I want this. General Big Vulture yourself for their life.
That one they go now for offensive. They call that one say offensive. Now video that one they watch and where the Unity Warriors then. They enter go the other side. Across the Mongo. They cross border, they go the other side. Now action they now they carry out. I think say those videos there. So when I don't watch them, but if you never watch the video then, no, Harry, relax. I get them all. I will drop them ASAP for our WhatsApp channel. And I will watch the video then. Now walk with the crossbow walker for the other side. 2 equilibrium, the things are not straight. 2 equilibrium, the things are not straight. Now, this one particular walkway it happened where it get asterisk. What will you go to school? They say asterisk. Asterisk means always star. When your teacher they read note them for class, if read note and copy them. After it tell you say star the one. After it tell you say underline the one. After it tell you say write in red pen, red ink. That means say you know say it be very important. And this particular work will happen. Now a special squad they carry out after long time of surveillance and everything. Ambazonian. Since as a Kelemen and talk say we no go sleep, them two no go sleep. Them two no go sleep. That means right for inside La Republic, they get to feel now. They get to hear for their skin. The Unity Warriors, una place day. Una place day. General Viper, General Onyo, Colonel Cross, una place day. Now, Ambazonians, I want them to get a trademark. When Ambazonian Cross go for that side for the Republic, wait to be their action then. How you feel easily distinguish between how going to that side and carrying out an action and this is no other than Amba do or no be them do. It be very clear. The target be easy. The target has always been the same. The target don't always be the same. The target don't never ever been like to be their citizen there. You get the point? And it make this video so that we'll continue for the educate our people there and educate the people on the other side. So that means they know. Say this so the objective, the target
don't always be a KLB. Don't always be a occupational force and their colonial administrator. I talk this time because we really know who is our enemy, who is their enemy, who is their enemy. Now we will go for focus on that. When I see and say Cameroonese them, like Republic of Cameroon citizens them, they are not our problem. We don't get problem with them. We don't get problem with them. That Ekelebe the way they enter for our land, bomb our house there, rape our woman there, tumor our sister there, fry people the inside house, do terrible things there. Even our livestock, we pick them, dog them, foul them, they wipe our all. Because they know very well say one day they'll come from for that land. They receive them very well. Little did they know that a day like this will come when it will rain cats and dogs on them. Little did they know. Time will come when right from inside Yaoundé for the Republic, there will be no peace for them. Time will come when right from inside Pobia in house, people will show for them when they call that name say Amber, they will panic. Because they know say this can happen at any time. It can happen at any time. Yes, it can happen anytime. When Ambazonian freedom fighters they cross go over, they get an objective. The mission not always been a tic-tac. They do the work, they do the harvest. Unasiam, Unasiam. The occupation of the territory of the people of Southern Cameroon must come to a stop. Like we will pack commode for Ambanan. But I want to take that land now by force or whatsoever. They will pack commode, you know, they beg them, they tear them. We tear them. In compensation to those people, the way a kelebe them bully them for Pini, I think say this so justice. Like we don't get your own payback, coin for coin, iron for iron. Now the message that way be passed for outside me. Me any a kelebe waiting for outside for like, but me no think say this so. We will end our way for Ambazonian. Now when Ambazonian freedom fighters cross go for the Republic, wait to be their target. Their target are normally a KLB, yes, not true. Their target are a KLB. But so other team there, that place the way they give the Republic money, they give the Republic government money. I'm not talking private individual them. That team the way they give the Republic government money, both for inside ground zero and for inside the Republic. We go to put ID. Yes. We will put ID. Because we must stop the occupation of our land. These people they will pack come off our land, we beg them, we tear them. It needs just that little organization, careful and tactful training, and the rest will accomplish. Ambazonian freedom fighters, they know who is their enemy, they know what is their target, they know what they are going for. They know exactly how to go for it, when to go for it, and how to go for it. And yes, you saw it, you've seen it. I dropped the complete video on my WhatsApp channel, my dear Ambazonian. So tell when I say, who are right in the comment section. Thank you, Unity Warriors. Thank you, Unity Warriors. I understand the dynamics the way it is. Who know say that the highest time is when I go day after that, because La Republic will plan a very serious comeback. Over the few days then. Like people don't get, they don't incur huge and heavy losses there from inside Ambazonian and now from inside their own side. They don't incur heavy losses there. And the fact say this freedom fighter they cross go for that side, they go puzzle off now for a kelebe them. They don't go touch any civilian or any some team. They don't send a warning signal. They don't already put a red flag. For inside the Republic area, they tell them say so that matter for that side, it will also enter the other side. To make them know say the occupation of the territory of the people of Southern Cameroon, it has a cost. It has a cost, and that we will pay dearly for it. The pain, the damage, and whatsoever they have done to our people, they will pay them. They will only beg them, will tell them they will pay them. Thank you, Unity Warriors. Write in the comment section. Thank you, Unity Warriors. I want to say me you will watch the video now. Share them as far as you can share them. Share them, me go very far. Tell that like me agent and say they worry. 10 kunyam titles them, Bamba and Nasari clothes them. See me, don't worry. Even how some of them stay for Islam Republic. Time will reach where Amba will pick them now for their trouser. I said they will pick them for their ampam. Be they wait. I said they will run go stay for the Republic. Then they give on their mom social media. Time will come Amba will pick them for their ampam. So shame is no day. So shame is no day. Thank you, Unity Warriors. We now go exactly for which way we now go in for. We not touch, we don't have no civil and military Republic. We now make a bit of population of the Republic no say, we now give we focus. That is very good and tactful of a guerrilla fighter. Applying the principles in total, 100% correct. The advice we will give una, the advice we Ambazonian people will give una, na say, we now be extra careful. Now, 10 minutes are going to be at alert the more because the Republic will come back on a revenge mission. No matter the amount of revenge mission they come, that land, our land, they will never take it away from us. Yes, with the gods of Ambaland, they protect Una. Thank you, Ambazonian. Thank you very much. I see my drop you up the moon and here. The vigilance for which will happen from inside like the way we usually want to cross good one, come back. I don't drop on my WhatsApp channel. Yes, the complete vigilance. I'm going here. How we kill and things a lot. When I'm going here, no two a kill. I said two. Two. So shame no day.
No, it is against the law. It is against the law. What you don't do, I don't see. You know, okay. He as a lawmaker. I need to know you.
When I see how we La Republic they want to install chief by force. Then they expect me the SDO. May they respect the SDO. You see. Now the thing this way the way they don't do them plenty for plenty places and way they go install chief them by force, install mayor them by force, install. Now the same thing way they happen now so. But when the youths they don't decide they no go listen to that kind of thing, you know, they deny for listening to. Now we see that they fight so, and so you get for B, make una no allow these colonial people that they can install their own people them. You see how SDO the kick the chakata. SDO the chakata for kick civilian. You know, so you see if the people they don't fight back, now say they use now the colonial. That's why we call them colonial SDO, colonial mayor, colonial, because the one main are people where they put them, may they answer for them, they be answerable to them. You see, but if we not fight back, it not go be. You see, we are still in that, you know, in the days of the colonial people, where they impose on their colonial tendencies on our people. They bring their military, police, all these men in uniform to frighten our people and impose on them. Okay, you see, we no get need for get SDOs. We no get need for get deals. because those people are just symbol of the colonial masters. That's why even those their colonial head scarf with the way lawyer, the way lamb, all that thing. That Captain Traore for Burkina Faso, you don't stop that thing all. You don't stop so many things because the one implement will be na their own system, not colonial system. The same like the public practices them for colonial thing, the way they still practice them. And when they expect some man respect this kind of thing, you know. It's so funny, you know.
No, it is against the law. It is against the law, but what you don't do, Cameroon see, you know, okay. He as a lawmaker, I need to know you. It's against the law. What he just did is against the law. It's against the law. I'm not on any side. It's against the law. What he just did is against the law. And it's here at the camera. They just videotape everything. Is against the law. Don't push me. 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 You're a law. You're a law security. You didn't push man. You didn't knock man. You know why did you answer?
Yeah, Seychellen, when bad politics and politicians of bad faith are playing their game, the masses suffer. This is just what is happening in our country when people who call themselves leader do not take into consideration the lives of those that constitute part of the state. The population, which is the preliminary and most important element of the state in this country, has never been the preoccupation of our government. And for the separatist movement, over time, they have also shown to us, to Cameroonians, that population had never really been their preoccupation. Because in the early stage of this revolution, we saw a general acclamation, support, mobilization that was all around this movement. But it mutated to the armed conflict and positions started being clear. Some of us politicians from this area of origin started saying, of course, we all have problems, but we choose the non-violent strategy. We choose to discuss around the question of form of state. While other people said, we are going for outright separation, and to achieve this, we will use arms. I have participated in several workshops, conferences within this country and out of this country, where we are talking with our brothers to say, in the 21st century, it's easy to declare a war, it's easy to take arms, but it is difficult to determine the circumstances that will establish you a winner. Within the context of a sovereign state and within the context of the international community that is fragmented, difficult to assess. When you look at the situation of our civil servants in the English-speaking regions of Cameroon since 2017, there is security gap. The people that have all the necessary securities in this area are either the governors or the DOs and SDOs. Who are the governors? Who are the SDOs? Those appointed by the head of state to carry out his instructions in Northwest and Southwest, because we are in an instruction system. Whereas the delegates or any nominal civil servant, be it teachers, because we should not forget that this is not only about the delegates, but we have also had teachers that have been killed, kidnapped. We have also had people of other sectors who are also civil servants. These other groups of people sometimes receive threats from their bosses in Yaoundé, in Bamenda Central Town, or in Boya, whereas there is security gap. They don't have the same amount of security like their bosses. Now, we put the question on the table. Do lives of those who are serving the country matter to those who are in hierarchical positions? If the lives of civil servants matter, I don't think the state, which have all what it takes, be it by the use of soft power or strong power, they should have saved the life of these people. You know, there is no justification for someone who has the ability to protect human life to say, I could not go beyond this because it was to talk with whatsoever group of people. There is no justification to leave humans to die. Protect them and let the situation go to the appropriate institution, the judiciary, be it local or international, for us to look at the characteristics of the problem, and then the blame responsibility will be shared to the people, and each person shall be judged according to his or her own crime and act committed. The human rights violation in the case of this delegate, Mr. Serge, Cameroonians, it will not go for free. People will pay the price for this, because it's an individual responsibility before collective responsibility. When you belong to a group, a movement, a party, an organization, whatever thing you do, you first of all have individual responsibility to your actions before collective responsibility. I think that those who carried out the immediate act of killing did wrongly and did a wrong thing. And those who were supposed to protect the lives of these people, who are the bosses, did not fulfill their responsibility of protecting lives of their subordinates.
Okay.
I think somewhere a few minutes ago, Comrade Derek, you already talked about the SWOT analysis and why it's important to conduct such a SWOT analysis, before building the foundation of such a community. I don't know, Comrade Derek, is there something you can add on to that? I know you already mentioned that as one of the before about the importance of making a SWOT analysis. Could you just make some additional comments on that? Over to you.
Okay. Yeah, so the SWOT analysis, like I mentioned, is when you come together as a community and you do such an analysis, it enables you to take stock of where the struggle currently is vis-a-vis your community, and you would see opportunities, but you would also see challenges. Yeah. Of course, not everybody, not every group of Ambazonians know how to conduct a SWOT analysis. We have a team, there's comrades from Germany who are experts in this particular area, where if people reach out and say we are in Belgium and we would like to conduct a SWOT analysis as the community in Belgium, they would get help from those comrades. They will help them design the questionnaires, and they will go to their meeting, they would respond. spend a few hours response, and when they have those responses, those comrades can still help them analyze the responses and paint out a picture for them with clear steps of what they can do. Now, when you conduct a SWOT analysis as a community, you would see that one of the biggest advantages that you have as a community that comes up for every community is the power of advocacy. And you would see that advocacy is driven and leveraged when you have a registered organization as a civil society wherever you are. It makes it possible for you to approach other civil societies, whether they are migrant rights, whether they are human rights protection, whether they are communication, all those agencies that are non-governmental agencies, they cooperate and they are more open to speaking to other organizations instead of you coming as an individual or you coming as a group. And when you articulate yourself as a group, it really doesn't align with the core mission and work of most of these advocacy groups. So they don't really connect with what you are saying. But when you go as just a community of people who are in exile because of the crisis back at home, it is easy to connect with so many partners in solidarity who are also, focused on various humanitarian struggles in their country or in other countries. And you would see that it's easy to find alignment, it's easy to find support, it's easy to find spaces where you would go and people would come and they will just share the story and the struggles of our people back at home. But also you would see that in this social justice movement, which is the alliances that you form with civil society and other advocacy groups, you will see that there are spaces for various aspects of the struggle to be presented and real concrete action or direction is taken through those type of things. That's the advantages of us approaching the struggle from a community level. Of course, earlier when I spoke, I talked of when we come together as a collective, it's easy to stand together as a collective and serve in times of emergencies. If there's a need in ground zero for us to raise, say, $20,000, $30,000, and we have 15 communities around the world, if we call coordinators from all these communities together and we say we need to raise $30,000, each coordinator would say our community is 200 people. I think we can easily do $50. We can raise 1,500. We would raise that money.
Please let me just hold you. Let me just hold you there. I think the point you're making, you are saying, is actually also like you're also expressing like one of the advantages also of maybe working in our strong communities and where we're able to synchronize our actions, right? That's the point I'm making. But let me just take you back to the SWOT that you mentioned before. SWOT, it stands for the strength, weaknesses, opportunities, and the threats. If you have done such an exercise in the South African community, I think we know that the strengths and opportunities are very positive, and those are things that we shouldn't be worried about. But can you just tell us, our viewers, what are some of the let me say, just a weakness and a threat that you identified there in your community?
Okay.
So,
No, thank you for that redirection. Okay, for instance, in our community here in South Africa, when we did a SWOT analysis late 2023, the main question that we sent out was asking our people what has caused them not to be actively participating in the struggle like they used to from 2016, 2018, 2019. The surprising response that came back at first, the assumption that we had was that the struggle was being mismanaged, there was factionalism and all of that. It was the assumption that we at the level of leadership had. But to our surprise, when the responses came back from our people, we realized that there was a problem in South Africa in 2022 when we came back from lockdown. The Home Affairs system here in South Africa changed, where most of our people didn't get their documentation renewed. So when the systems changed, it left a lot of our people undocumented. Most of those people who were left undocumented now, they don't go around. When you call a meeting across town or in a different town, people who used to drive for 2-3 hours to come to meetings, now they are worried that if they leave their local area where they stay and drive across town, they might get into trouble. Everybody is focused on that personal issue of documentation. Over and above that particular issue, there's a lot of our people, refugees, who have left home and they have managed and they have found themselves in South Africa that are also having 1 or 2 issues around documentation. So we ended up realizing that this is a core problem for our community in South Africa, that if we don't, as leadership, look for ways to resolve, it will become very difficult for us to mobilize the kind of numbers that we saw in 2017, 2018. So the small leadership team that is in place, we did a lot of consultation with immigration lawyers and some migrant rights organizations, and we kind of came up with a plan of action of what needs to be done. A lot of those things are going to become more public knowledge in the days ahead as they materialize. So we would be doing public outings. It would start with, community forums where we would bring some lawyers, migrant lawyers, to talk to our people about their pathways to documentation, the ones that are undocumented or the ones that have challenges with their documentation. But as leadership, we are trying to bring our community back together to say, this is a collective problem. The people, those of us who have gotten to the level of having IDs and now we are permanent residents, we can play a bigger role in advocating for those who are having those challenges, to show them that humanity part, that Ubuntu. Here in South Africa, we call it Ubuntu. You are because we are, kind of a thing. And I believe that as we go with that project here in South Africa, as it will start working here in South Africa, maybe that challenge is similar around the world. Other communities would, follow some of the things and adapt to their communities and start actually really helping our people. 2 weeks ago, I was in a meeting with the community in Boston, and they were discussing how they could mobilize the community in the US. We have a big community of our Southern Cameroonians across states in the United States. And this idea of having a Southern Cameroon's cultural day, where we would call cultural groups to come and display our culture, which is something that we all connect to at a very granular level. So that idea became very exciting in that meeting, and people were like, no, this is going to work. So that's something that we are expecting the comrades in the US to build on. And it's something that happened in Tübingen in Germany. Your community in Germany did some sort of a Southern Cameroon's cultural day in Tübingen. So those are the things that when we come together and have conversations as communities, they would come up, which are group neutral, which are things that will just bring us together to work together as a people and really show that strength in togetherness. Thank you.
Once again, ladies and gentlemen, France has inserted itself into the Ambazonian conflict. For years, the Cameroon government has peddled the grand national dialogue as its golden ticket to resolving the conflict in Ambazonia. It was advertised as the ultimate forum where grievances would be addressed, historical injustices corrected, and a genuine path to lasting peace carved out. But as the dust settles, as the years go by, as the so-called special status unravels into nothing more than a hollow charade, the truth now stands bare before the world. The GND Grand National Dialogue was never about justice, was never about resolution. It was all about pacification. It was a ruse to dupe the unsuspecting, to suppress the revolution, and to give the false impression of no mercy, while tightening the chains of colonial subjugation. Cameroon's Prime Minister Joseph Dion Ngute has now inadvertently confirmed what Ambazonians knew all along. Speaking in Yaoundé yesterday, March 18, in a meeting with his hand-picked so-called stakeholders, Ngute did not even attempt to pretend that the Grand National Dialogue had resolved the root causes of the conflict. He did not say that the Francophone teachers forced into Anglophone classrooms had been withdrawn. He did not say that Francophone administrators and judges and prosecutors and decree-appointed governors have been recalled. He did not claim that economic discrimination and systemic marginalization have been addressed. No, he could not say any of this because none of it has been done. Instead, his primary achievement, if any, was this. The government, he said, has cracked down on separatists in the diaspora and that no mercy has returned. Is that what the Grand National Dialogue was supposed to be about? Cracking down on the diaspora? Was that the solution Ambazonians were promised? Ngute boldly declared, and I quote, "One particularly rewarding action," he said, "of their diplomacy has been the engagement of partners in disrupting," listen to that, "in disrupting the activities of secessionist leaders residing abroad. This has amounted to judicial proceedings in the majority of countries hosting identified terrorist groups," end of quote. There you have it. The real purpose of the Grand National Dialogue was not dialogue. It was not to listen. It was not to address the grievances of Ambazonians. It was to target, hunt down, and silence those advocating for true freedom. It was a well-orchestrated maneuver to give Cameroon breathing space while waging a war of suppression at home and abroad. It was a tool, not of peacemaking, but of strategic warfare against the Ambazonian movement. And yet, Ngute went on to list yet another so-called achievement, and I quote, "the restoration of no mercy." What no mercy? He pointed to cocoa production in the southwest, claiming that farmers have returned to their fields and are benefiting from higher prices. But we ask, how many villages remain burned to the ground? How many families have been displaced? How many innocent civilians continue to be tortured by the colonial police, army, and gendarme, maimed or slaughtered by the Cameroon's military? What about the countless Ambazonian leaders and activists languishing in prisons, held without trial, subjugated to inhumane treatment? I'm talking of men like Abdul Karim Ali. No mercy cannot be declared by a government that continues to rain bullets on people it claims to be its own citizens. No mercy is fake no mercy when you still hold thousands of people behind bars. Ngute also celebrated the so-called effective functioning of the special status and the Northwest and Southwest regional assemblies. But the question remains, in what way has this so-called special status improved the lives of Ambazonians? How has it erased the decades of marginalization? Where are the independent Anglophone institutions? Where is the autonomy? Where is the power to govern ourselves? It is all a lie, ladies and gentlemen. A special status dictated by Yaoundé is nothing more than an extension of colonial rule, a fraudulent attempt to deceive the world while maintaining absolute control over Ambazonia. to further insult the intelligence of Southern Cameroonians, Ambazonians, Dion Ngute paraded the establishment of a higher teachers training college in Boya as another milestone of the Grand National Dialogue on Special Status. What does that have to do, ladies and gentlemen, with the fundamental issues of the conflict? Is that supposed to compensate for the thousands of teachers and students killed or displaced? Of course not. Is that supposed to make up for the systemic destruction of the Anglo-Saxon educational system? How does one training college under decades of deliberate neglect and subjugation help? The answer is simple. It does not. It just doesn't. Ngute then talked about development plans for the regions. Ambazonians have heard these empty promises before. For years, they have been promised deep sea ports, ring roads, and investments. And yet, what has happened? What has been delivered? Nothing but more bloodshed, more lies, and more manipulation. The people no longer have faith in a government that only knows how to make empty promises, never fulfilling them. Not in Ambazonia. The revelations from Dion Ngute's speech should serve as a warning to all Ambazonians. The Grand National Dialogue and the so-called special status were never about genuine dialogue. They were tactics of suppression. And this is why Ambazonians must be wary of the mushroom groups that keep emerging in the name of Ambazonia's freedom. These groups, yesterday, for example, we had the APJ. Today, it is the caucuses. They are nothing but distraction tools in the hands of La Republique. Who are these groups? Who formed them? What is their real agenda? These are the groups, ladies and gentlemen, Dion Ngute is referring to as partners they used to weaken and divide the struggle. Real Ambazonians independentists must know their true leaders. They must know who has been in the trenches, who has paid the price, who has stood firm despite the threats, the arrests, the court cases, and the betrayers. The enemy is desperate to infiltrate and destabilize the movement from within, and they have been doing so, as we hear from them. Ambazonians must not fall for these tricks, and let no one be deceived. No mercy has not returned. The war is not over, and the people have not surrendered. The fact that the Cameroon military still occupies Ambazonian land, the fact that people live in fear, the fact that extrajudicial killings continue, these all prove that there is no peace, no normalcy. True normalcy will only come when Ambazonians are in full control of their land, their institutions, and their destiny. Until then, the fight continues. The world must understand that Ambazonians will not be silenced. They will not be cowed. They will not be deceived by fake dialogues and empty promises. The struggle is slow, may be slow, but it is not over. And every day, every moment, Ambazonians will continue to surprise the Cameroon army. Freedom is non-negotiable. Sovereignty is inevitable. Our march to independence remains unstoppable, though slow it may look. The Southern Cameroon's questions.
Thank you for listening. Thank you. That was some of the excerpt from different activists, their opinions about the struggle for the independence of Southern Cameroon, Ambazonia. You heard from Comrade Chris Ano, you heard from Dr. Ebini. You heard from the different moves by the Restoration Freedom Fighters through Fabiano Deco. You had some other opinions around. So this is just how we do, in our channel. We bring in different opinions, different people to discuss this. Please make sure you subscribe to the channel. For those watching on Facebook, make sure you subscribe. If you are watching through the different medium, please make sure you subscribe, follow.
A lot of things happened over the weekend. And
Follow, press the follow button and follow through that medium. Thank you. God bless you. God bless the people of Southern Cameroon, Ambazonian. Thank you for watching.